Paul and Holly Fine's work has been honored on this stage more than 50 times for Cameraman of the Year, Best Documentary, Best Editing, and the list goes on. They have won over 75 local Emmys, 10 national Emmys, a DuPont Award, the Robert F. Kennedy Award for Journalism, and 4 Peabodys. Paul and Holly did meet long ago in the land of television at WJLA Channel 7. A beautiful young editor and a wild pipe-smoking cameraman. Maybe it was the footage, nobody really knew, but somehow Paul did win her over. And a perfect match was made.
It was a lovely ceremony. You're very happy. You look like a lovely bride.
Oh, yes, I'm very happy.
You look like a lovely groom, but you look like you've had a...
Then came the local documentaries.
Isn't it rich? Isn't it queer? Losing my timing this late in my career.
And I just drove him down and went on top of him and into the car.
In 1982, Paul and Holly made The Saving of the President, told and reenacted by the actual people who saved Ronald Reagan's life.
Do I remember very well walking into that emergency room, not even knowing that I'd been shot.
It broke new ground. ABC aired it nationally on 2020. And CBS News was watching.
With just 15 minutes
For the next 18 years, Paul and Holly brought us closer to those we admire the most.
And Kirk has never been shy about flaunting what he's got.
It's not bad, is it? It's good. Huh? A guy that's only 41 years old.
What time is it? What time is it? What time?
The only time I'm secure is on stage. Once I get off, I'm just frail girl.
Frail girl?
I mean, maybe that's the worst thing to say.
You want to explain that?
And no matter how tough it is, somewhere she is enjoying being able to express herself.
You're leading again.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
So you better learn how to do as much for yourself as you can, and I have trained myself to do that. But I do it because I love it. I love it. What else would I do?
There were times when they got a little too close.
I think you're better in this camera, because this is a little too far over. Do I have to put shoes on?
Leave the shoes off, Paul.
That's okay.
And start the interview, please.
They say I'm difficult?
No, I never have thought I was smart. I thought the people I dealt with were dumb, including you.
I'll tell you, to be called dumb by you is to be in very good company.
Paul and Holly also made headlines human, focusing on those who are too often forgotten.
It makes you crawl a little bit, no, Mitch?
Sure. And I've thrown people over my shoulder who are covered with vomit, some of them covered with lice, some of them frostbitten, some of them dying.
Now it takes 2 nurses to move Dorothy. She begins to spasm in pain, making it harder for them to avoid contact with her blood and bodily fluids, the 2 places where the AIDS virus lives.
I think about the dangers of hitting a door constantly. It's like that old saying they used to beat into you in Vietnam, stay alert, stay alive.
Just look around and folks and see how good they look. Yes. Now, tighten up your buttocks. If you don't know how, I can tell you, but I don't want to.
and they're off. New York's workhorses are out of the gate. For a few hours each morning, this wave of commuters controls the station. But they don't even have time to soak in the sunlight that streams across the terminal floor, each too busy watching out for the horse in front.
When I hear from the Fines, it's always Pudge, that's Paul, calling to ask if I would go into some prison or drug-infested neighborhood, or talk with people who are dying, or maybe go on some raid with the police who are armed to the teeth, and all I have is Pudge to protect me. It's always, Ed, you're the only one who can pull this off. I never get those wide-open spaces or the beautiful location stories or the movie stars that go to Mike and Morley. And you know what? Although I've often kicked and screamed, I've never been disappointed with the results. Paul and Holly are the best.
The Fines. And anyone who knows anything about this line of work knows exactly who you're talking about. They are among the crown jewels of broadcasting, and anyone who's ever worked with them is in their debt.
After Safer's saccharine bullshit, I should point out that the Fines are seldom anxious to work with him despite his constant sucking up. They tell me, confidentially of course, that they find it difficult to put up with Safer for the one soft piece a year that Hewitt insists they do with him. The hard stuff, like Barbara Streisand's nose or Julie Andrews' breasts, they prefer to do with the senior correspondent. Safer, however, did get one thing right. Paul and Holly, you're the best.
Perhaps one of their greatest accomplishments was a 3-hour special on violence in America.
CBS reports, tonight in the killing fields of America.
We need someone, people, that would stand up and not just talk with the rhetoric, but would give us concrete solutions. And if we can say it's not fair, and we have a right sometimes to say, Lord, why?
He gets to make friends. He gets to go to Christmas dinner. That's not fair. He deserves to die.
Told me if I left him, he would kill me and cut me up in small pieces, put me in a black bag and bury me up in the mountain.
You remember how old you were when you were first asked to join a gang?
12, 11.
Joy, what would someone 11 years old do in a gang?
Sell drugs for them.
And then in 1998, they moved to ABC News, where I got to work with them again. Most fondly, I recall working on a piece featuring a former CIA disguise artist, now making perfect prosthetic body parts for those in need. It's a sort of human parts department.
If you had to change my appearance, what would you do to me?
I could make you look like me.
They were, when they began, and they have been throughout their careers, simply the best.
I'll bring you the romantic tenor, Andrea Bocelli, with his music from the heart.
Tonight, I'll introduce you to one man who's really made a difference, the jazz teacher.
This was most apparent in their final film. No narration, no correspondent, just the heroic story of 2 survivors of 9/11.
You know, the bottom line was I had my wife, and we would get through this. And we've got a partnership. We've had it for 31 years, and we've got a good 31 more years left if God gives us that ability and strength. And yes, her fingers are gone, but she still has the same mind, the same heart.
There is really no one like Paul and Holly. Their work forever changed the lives of those who were in their films, of those who watched them, and all of us who learned from them. Now, Steenbeck's Arriflexes and correspondence have been replaced by family visits to their new office on the Chesapeake Bay.